All right, guys, so there's big news coming out of the LEC today that we need to talk about. This one has to do with Fnatic. Obviously, they've been kind of the slowest LEC team this offseason, one of the only teams that still has, multiple missing pieces in their 2026 roster, multiple, pretty big question marks left unanswered, but we're getting another piece of the puzzle today, again, from sheepesports.com sources. Lospa, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but that name right there, LOSPA, set to join Fnatic, going to be the new support for 2026. In this position, you can see the sub-heading here is that Piero and Targamas were also considered. So some of the other potential options, some of the other people that, Lospa is going to be compared to, depending on how this year, goes or doesn't go for both himself and Fnatic. But the Fnatic project is finally taking shape. The last European team to finalize its plan for the 2026 LEC season, the Black and Orange have settled on Lospa to fill the support position left vacant by Mickey X, according to sources close to Sheep Esports. Yesterday, negotiations between Fnatic and Giant X over June and his buyout ultimately were declined by Giant X, were decisive in the team's choice to go with Lospa for that role. They're signing him somewhat in haste, but if it wasn't going to be June, it was between Lospa and Piero, with the former ultimately being chosen. During the offseason, SK and Giant X's LEC team also showed very strong interest in the player, which they would have likely picked hadn't they secured their first choices, for support on those teams. Lospa also drew at least some interest from ERL teams such as Los Heretics and Solari. Initially trained in Gen G's academy in South Korea, where he played for 3.5 years alongside notable players like Pays, coming back to the LCK in 2026 with T1. He comes off a successful 2025 season in Spain's LVP Superliga with Giant X Pride, capped by titles in both the Summer Split and the Final Four. The 23-year-old support now joins a Tier 1 league for the first time in his career. Taking over the mantle will not necessarily be easy. The support position has hosted some of the club's greatest legends at Fnatic. The most recent among them was Mickey X, who, although he did not stay for long, brought his creativity and unique playstyle, which made him the support with the most decorated resume in European history. However, Lospa will also have to live up to the legacy of standout performances like Yellowstar, Hillisang, and June. With his arrival, Fnatic's project is starting to take clearer shape. He is the third player on the roster to be confirmed after many possible scenarios, many opportunities, and many rounds of negotiations. Has definitely been an interesting offseason for Fnatic so far. As a reminder, Fnatic has considered roster changes in every single position, even though 4 of their players were signed until 2026, except for Upset, who became a free agent. The first domino that made it possible to start making decisions was the signing of Vladdy after a long bout negotiation with KC. This then allowed Imperios to be confirmed in the top lane and Lospa to be chosen from the pool of the remaining options on the market for support. What remains now is to find out which AD carry will ultimately be chosen to tie up the bot lane of a heavily overhauled 2026 project. In total, up to 5 players could still change. Although Razork is on a good path to stay for a 5th year with the club, but such an overhaul is something that has not been seen at Fnatic for several different years. So again, we do have the top lane, mid lane, and support position now confirmed for 2026 for Fnatic, but still looking like Razork will most likely be the jungler in 2026, but that's not yet confirmed. That's not locked into place, and we don't know who that AD carry who's going to be pairing up with Lospa in the bot lane is going to be just yet, but we're going to have to wait and see. Should be, very, very interesting to see how Fnatic chooses to round out this lineup, but also how this new look Fnatic team, which is going to be a very, very different team than 2026 or even the past couple of years of Fnatic, is able to perform. The Fnatic fans have sky high expectations, I'm sure, as always, and they are tired and want to start winning and want to start going to international competitions and making noise and semifinals and all this stuff. Again, we'll have to wait and see if Lospa ends up being a big part of that, or if the carousel of these positions will continue to rotate around for Fnatic. But that is the latest big news out of the LEC today. Again, Lospa set to join Fnatic, will be their new support for 2026. Pretty much every video today, guys. Hopefully catch the next one. Until then, peace.